the focus for today, I wanted to address sort of the areas of the body that get compromised with our sitting behavior. So with our seated patterns when we're forward at a desk, what is happening to our shoulders and our upper back. And let's go ahead and do just a nice full body rinse first, or that upper back rinse, which I think feels so good, especially in the morning. So the foam roller will come perpendicular behind us. You can bring it about the tips of the scapula, whatever kind of feels good. A lot of us have been doing this for a while, so maybe you know your body and your tension just a little bit better, and you can find those areas easier. I'm going to bring the hands behind my head, and I'm going to cradle my head and neck as I stretch. Ooh, up and back, and I just got some nice spinal adjustment, just like that. Just a little stretch. Maybe if it's available to you, you reach your arms long towards the wall behind you. Oh, get a big opening, and then cradle the head as you lift back up. I'm going to find my rotation here, where I'm going to turn my head to the right, lift up and back, and find that stretch as I shift the weight of my legs to the left. I'm going to try to take a big inhale into the right side of my body. And then exhale, pull back up, switching. And I view this as kind of just one of those morning stretches, right? Just a great way to kind of open up the whole body, back up. From here, I'm going to lift my hips, and I'm going to start to roll up and down, up and down. I'm going to play with my position of my elbows just a little bit, maybe sliding them up towards the ceiling, or opening them out wide. Kind of just feeling what feels good today. Pushing and pulling from the top of my shoulders all the way down to the bottom of my ribs. That foam roller tends to have a mind of its own. It likes to move. So if at any point you need to recenter yourself on your mat, go ahead and do so. You can shift your weight to the right just a little bit. See how that feels as you kind of go up and down on the right side of your body. We will get to our shoulders, so maybe we're a little tender up near our triceps. And back through center, and then over to the left. Up and down. I'm going to do a couple through center. And again, kind of play with my elbows. And then carefully bring my hips down. I like to press my hands onto the foam roller to curl myself all the way back up. So I'm going to start on my right side. The foam roller is going to extend off to the left. I'm going to lay down, and the edge of the foam roller is going to come into like the valley of my shoulder. So I'm going to start near the front of my deltoid, front of my shoulder, kind of along the front of my armpit. Hand is going to come onto that foam roller, and I'm going to reach my right arm forward. Now, I feel pretty comfortable lifting my arm off of the mat. For some of us, this might be a lot of work. So if it's lower to the ground or you just want to release it onto the mat, that's okay too. I'm going to float it off, and I'm going to circle my hand, spiraling my thumb down as I reach behind me, and then circling my arm up. My thumb spirals up as I circle it forward. So extend your foam roller the other way, Pat. There you go. There you go. Good. So if we're in our right shoulder, that means the foam roller is off to the left side of our body. I feel the fibers of my pec kind of spiraling over that foam roller like a ripple kind of effect. Let's do that just twice more. I'm trying to open the front of my shoulder. And last one. Nice big circles. Getting ready for our snow angels, right? This is very similar to what we do lengthwise on the foam roller. We're just kind of massaging a different part of the shoulder now. Reaching that arm up. Optional here to maybe spiral the foam roller up a couple degrees. So I'm going to start to kind of thread it into my armpit just a little bit at a different angle. Reaching that right arm up again, and then spiral it back. It's going to start to feel different, like you're kind of working the foam roller into the kinks. So kind of move and find that area of tightness that is in your body today. Spiraling. Kind of like you're swimming breaststroke, right? And you're scooping the air around you. Last two. And open it back up. And last one. And stretch it back forward. Let's go ahead and reach that right arm long. Hold it out there. Soften your upper body around. And we're just going to gently rock the foam roller right and left as though you're sort of trying to really get it into the armpit a little bit deeper. So sort of like a little rocking, getting comfortable. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. And then soften. Let's just breathe for a moment. And carefully bring both hands beside you. You're going to press yourself up. You're going to switch now, and you're going to find the left pec. Coming down onto your left side. That foam roller, lots of times I like to start it at about 90 degrees with my chest and work my way into a little bit different stretch. So my left arm is going to be long, and I'm near the front of my shoulder, just before my armpit, floating that left hand up. My thumb is starting high, and then I'm going to spiral the thumb down as I circle the arm and reach towards the back. And then spiral that thumb up. And down. I want you to start to sense how your shoulder is internally rotating into the foam roller as you reach the fingertips behind you. And then your shoulder is externally rotating as you circle it up. Let's do 2 more. And last one. All the way back up. Again, you can adjust that foam roller, maybe slide it up a little bit. So now, again, you're at a slightly different angle, almost like you're threading the foam roller into your shoulder, and then spiral that down. And circle it back up. And spiral. And lift. Last 3. Give me 2. And last 1. Reach that arm all the way back forward. Place the hand down onto the mat and soften your body around the foam roller and gently rock the foam roller to and fro. Kind of kneading it into the armpit. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Soften. Let's just take a nice big breath. Carefully bring your hands back along beside you, pressing yourself off of the foam roller. Slowly bring yourself up. We're going to flip now to lie lengthwise on the foam roller. So seated on one end, carefully lay yourself all the way down. Find the weight of your head, the spread of your rib cage, and the weight of your pelvis. Open your arms out to a T and check in real quick with what that openness feels like in the front of your chest. So I feel this is such an easier stretch suddenly. Like my arms just relax down onto the mat. It's not quite a pulling sensation that it sometimes is. And let's gently rock a little right to left. Picture your body's kind of like a straight board. It's not, so your shoulders aren't going to move separate of your hips. It's all together rocking to the right and then rocking to the left. My arms change position just a little bit. As I sink towards the left, my left elbow comes down and my right elbow lifts. And then as I sink to the right, my right elbow comes down and my left arm lifts. So I'm getting just a little bit more of a stretch across my chest as I rock. ending even, coming back up through center. Now hold and float your arms off of the floor. So my arms are going to stay in line with my shoulders. Now from here, I'm going to start just from my T position, and I'm going to reach my fingertips down towards my heels. And I want everybody to hold there a moment and just scan their body. Feel the weight of the head, the spread of the rib cage, and the weight of the pelvis. Feel both feet firmly planted. Now everybody real quick, play with internally rotating your shoulders. So as though the head of your humerus is going to fall towards now your sternum. And we are shortening the front of our body again, right? Now externally rotate and widen your collarbones and feel like you're pulling the scapula back and down towards that foam roller underneath you. That's where I want you to keep your shoulders. That's where I want you to sense that openness across the front of your body and engage through the back of the body. Reaching through those fingertips, start to spiral those arms out to your T, keep the openness, and then pull back down. So just come to your T to start. And do that a couple times, opening. You're reaching open. I'm getting a stretch through my biceps, through my elbow pit, through my forearm. I'm trying to stretch my fingertips to the sides of the room. And I'm starting to sense how my scapula are changing position along the length of the foam roller. So they're still hugging towards it the whole time. They're just sort of spiraling, opening, and then pulling towards the tips. Spiraling, opening, and then pulling back towards the tips. Now let's have place a mind's eye thinking about where is your 12th rib? Where is your rib cage? So as I reach those arms out, don't let go of your 12th rib. So try to connect your body down onto the foam roller. Connect your body down onto the foam roller. You're just expanding your arms. Maybe we start to lift just a little bit higher. Maybe they start to creep up just a little bit higher, but don't lose your 12th rib. And then pull back down. Let's do that just a couple more times, working your way up to your full range of motion, whatever that feels like today. Almost like a gentle gust of wind floats your arms up, but keeps your ribs down and then draws back down. So I want you to really assess where is your rib cage, your lumbar spine, and the spread of your sacrum. And last one, circling those up. Big stretch, pulling those ribs down, and then come all the way back down. Let's work on our breath just a little bit. So allow your right arm to soften wherever feels comfortable for you. Whatever feels, no tingling, no numbness, right? Just let it fall. Bring your left hand onto the front of your ribs. So kind of right where your diaphragm and the ribs, xiphoid process, all of that comes together right there. Now I want everybody to inhale into their hand. And feel how your chest floats up, right? And now exhale, just let it go. Don't worry about where it's pushed out from, just kind of release it. And again. Everybody tries to inhale into their hand so that the front of their body is actually going to lift up. And then exhale. Now maybe for some of us that feels natural, maybe that feels unnatural for some of us too. For me, I actually had to catch myself because I started to breathe somewhere else because I don't normally breathe into my belly. So let's do that just once more. And exhale. Now, on your next exhale, with your hands, you're going to feel that your ribs are going to pull down and together. Take a nice steady inhale wherever front of your body. And on an exhale, I want you to visualize that your ribs are going to grow heavy. You're going to pull them down and together. And you're going to knit. I visualize like a staple gun just stapled my ribs down and together. Hold them there. And with your hand, you're going to sense that they aren't going to move now. Inhale into your low back. And exhale, knit your ribs again. Inhale into the length of your spine behind you, beside you, right, all around you. And exhale, knit your ribs down. And again. So as we inhale, I want you to visualize that you're going to expand the low ribs down onto the foam roller. And every time you exhale, you're going to drop the front of your ribs down to really sink deeper into the mat and the foam roller underneath you. Last two. And exhale. And last one. And exhale. Wiggle it out, stretch side to side, let it go if that feels good. Just like, don't worry about it now. Rocking a little bit. Oof. Maybe sliding your ribs separate of your hips. Big stretch. Then carefully roll off to one side, coming off of your foam roller and bringing yourself up. Flip the foam roller now perpendicular. So we're going to find our 12th, our low back again, and we're going to breathe and work on our hamstring stretch. So a lot of us, our hamstrings are really short and tight, right? So I want us to try to separate where our sit bone is from our heel. So feel like they're going in two different directions. So I'm going to bring my bottom to the other side of the foam roller so that I feel like if I, the smile lines of your cheeks, that's where that foam roller is going to sit under. And then I'm just going to flex and point through my feet. For some of us, this alone might be a really nice stretch. We might feel, I am feeling a little bit through my calves and the back of my knees. Maybe go through an external and a little internal rotation and see if that changes the stretch you feel through your seat. Now I'm going to shift my bottom back an inch, and that foam roller is going to come closer towards my knees an inch. I am starting to pitch my weight forward just a little bit. And again, once more. So I'm thinking of reaching my pelvis far behind me and my legs in front of me. Then if it's available to you, your hands can come down onto the mat behind you, and you're going to swing through your hips, pulling and pushing that foam roller from your bottom to just above the back of your knees. I am moving between a slight internal and external rotation, kind of just getting some blood flow to the back of my legs, really trying to find any tightness, any kinks, and kind of massage them. If this is a lot for your shoulders, you can always come down, move through just one hamstring, right? We've done this before, and use the support of another foot to help kind of brace the weight of your entire body. So do a couple more strokes. Then we're all going to meet with our hips back over that foam roller and our legs extended long. So find a position that you can hold. I'm going to go forward just a little bit. There we go. And we're going to reach our arms forward towards the wall in front of us. Now this might be a lot for our abs. Some of us might feel like we're rounded a lot and we can't actually lift our heart. That can be a lot because those hamstrings aren't letting go, right? And I want you to think that you're pulling your hips. Your hip flexors pull back so that you can lift your heart up. Now, like someone's pulled you up towards the ceiling, think that you're going to lift and then reach forward. And reach towards your ankles. Maybe you can grab your ankles, maybe you settle on your calves. Find wherever you're at today. I'm going to flex my feet, because that is a very tight stretch for me today. Now, one thing I'm focused on is keeping my pelvis behind me, as though it's like the bottom of my rainbow, right? There's the pot of gold back there. So drop your hips back and let them feel heavy so that you can arch your body up and over. Holding on to your ankles or your calves, don't let your body lift. I want you to, again, visualize those floating ribs, the length of your lumbar spine, the weight of your pelvis. Soften your head, and I just want you to breathe into the back of your body. And on an exhale, like you're going to knit your ribs together, lift the front of your body without coming up, right? You're just scooping out the inside. And again, inhale. Exhale, scoop out the front of your body. Maybe even turn your tailbone down towards the floor a little bit more. And again, inhale. And exhale, lift the front of your body. I am starting to get a stretch across the spread of my sacrum, which feels really good. But my legs are very active. I'm trying to lift my stomach to pull my nose closer towards my knees. And every time I inhale, I'm careful not to lift my shoulders, but to expand through the back of my ribs. I'm going to suction my hips back just a little bit. Exhale. And feel like I'm drawing from my adductors, from the inside of my heels all the way up my legs into my abs. Last one. Exhale. Slowly start to press your spine back and up, right? So how do you lengthen up, 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 all the way back up? Woo, nice and easy. Carefully come to seated in front of that foam roller, coming off of it. Oh, nice job. Let's see how our hamstrings, how that openness feels. So our legs are going to come out in front of us, and we're going to try to sit kind of on the sharp edge of our sit bones, right? And this for some of us, when our hamstrings are really tight, is going to kind of look like this, like we can't get up onto our hips. If that's the case, grab a prop. So a pillow or doubling up on your mat will help to kind of elevate your pelvis. The hands are going to find the foam roller behind you, and you're going to widen your collarbones. And even this, check in with yourself just a little bit. Wrap those shoulders back and down, right? So we're lifted through our heart. We're stretching our pecs open yet again. My hamstrings are even here, getting a little bit of a stretch still. Now I'm just going to move through my pelvis. I'm going to think that I'm now rolling over my sit bones, pushing through my fingertips, lifting through the front of my body. Try to leave your heels where they're at. Think, yes, very nice, good. Think that I'm reaching my legs away from me. Ooh, I had to catch myself for a minute. My left shoulder wanted to internally rotate. Hold. You don't have to go far to suddenly feel that every part of your body's working. Now scoop the pelvis towards you. Push down from the back of your shoulders and lift yourself back up onto your sit bones. Last three. Exhale, curl. So through this exercise, I'm trying to identify the difference between my hamstrings and my pelvis, and then my arms and my shoulders. And exhale, pull. All the way back up. Last two. Like you're sliding your legs away from you, and you're sliding your fingertips away from you, going in two different directions. You don't have to go far. Lift your waist to help pull yourself back in and up, in and up, in and up, in and up, nice and tall. And last one, melting through your spine. Articulate it. Think of bridge work, right? Your arms are working, your legs are working, you're lifting the layers of abdominals. Melt those shoulders, careful they don't hike up, but reach, and then scoop. All the way back up. Nice and tall. Woo, a little release. So hopefully now more and more of our front of our body is feeling awake and open. Back up. Let's flip now. I'm going to face towards you. Let's move into just a little bit of a shoulder opening stretch. So let's reach the hands behind us and kind of cup the foam roller underneath you. And then kind of lift through the heart, rolling those shoulders back and down. Let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Circle the head down and around. And as you come up, actually lift your chin a little bit. Try to stretch the chin almost away from your collarbone and then over to the left. So you're not going all the way around at the back, but you're just lifting to kind of stretch the front of your neck as well. And then down and around. I'm using the foam roller underneath me to sort of anchor my hands, so I have something to stretch out of. To the right, lifting up. Last one. To the left, and lifting up. You're going to drop down through center, and then slowly press your head all the way back as though you're up against a wall behind you. Now from here, let's go ahead and turn and look to the right. And I want you to think that somebody's gently pressing your left shoulder back and down. So it's like you're in a door jamb, or you're really using that foam roller underneath you to widen your left collarbone. And then back through center. Right, so I'm trying to open the front of our chest, which can really become compromised when we sit all day, or if we drive, right? Whatever that is, that forward leaning motion, I'm trying to bring us out of that. Alternating, so right and left. Last one each way, ending even. Back through center and soften. Take a little breather, releasing your hands on that foam roller, maybe rolling those shoulders back and down. So you can use a prop if you want, but I just want us to see how our hips feel just a little differently, maybe without the prop. So if you can sit crisscross, see how that feels today. Hands can come onto your knees, and we'll gently sort of rock through the spine, forward, getting a glute stretch just a little bit, and back. Now I'm going to use my arms to feel a little bit like they're helping push me around. I am going to try to stay lifted through my heart just a little bit, not to collapse through my shoulders, because we just spent so much time opening it up, right? So I'm going to stay just a little bit open through the pecs, lifted through the heart. Last one, ending even. Nice big circles through your spine, waist, all the way back up. Thank you so much. That's class.